The old catering van pulled up to the massive iron gates of Hillcrest Manor. Lily looked out the window, her eyes wide as she took in the sprawling estate. The mansion sat on top of a gentle hill, its windows gleaming in the afternoon sun like hundreds of golden eyes. This was not her world. Not even close, everyone out, called Mr. Chen, the catering boss. Remember, we're here to work, not gawk. The Richardson party starts in 3 hours and everything needs to be perfect. Lily stepped out of the van, smoothing down her plain black uniform. At 22, she was the newest member of Chen's catering team. She had taken the job 6 months ago when her mom got sick, and the medical bills started piling up. College would have to wait. Her music scholarship wasn't enough to cover everything, and family came first. As they unloaded the equipment, Lily couldn't help but steal glances at the mansion. She had never seen anything like it outside of movies. 3 stories of stone and glass with perfectly manicured gardens stretching in every direction. A fountain bubbled in the center of the circular driveway, water dancing in intricate patterns. "Lily, stop daydreaming and grab those trays," Mr. Chen called. She quickly reached for the stack of silver serving platters, nearly dropping them when she saw the man walking down the front steps of the mansion. He didn't look much older than her, maybe 28 at most, dressed casually in jeans and a simple blue button-down with rolled-up sleeves. His dark hair was slightly messy, as if he'd been running his hands through it. Nothing about him screamed millionaire, but there was something in the way he moved, confident but not cocky, that made Lily certain this was Alex Richardson himself, the tech genius. The boy wonder who had built a software company in his dorm room and sold it for millions 5 years later. "You must be from Chen's," he said, his voice warmer than Lily had expected. "I'm Alex. Thanks for coming on such short notice." Mr. Chen stepped forward, all smiles and professional charm. "It's our pleasure, Mr. Richardson. We've brought everything on your list." "Great." Alex glanced at his watch. "Mrs. Winters, my housekeeper, will show you to the kitchen and help you get set up. I've got a call in 10 minutes. As he turned to head back inside, his eyes met Lily's for just a second. She quickly looked down at the trays in her hands, feeling her cheeks flush. She had no business staring at him. She was here to work, to earn money for her mom's treatment. The next few hours passed in a blur of preparation. Lily worked alongside the other servers, arranging tiny canapes on platters, polishing glasses, and setting up the bar. The kitchen was bigger than her entire apartment, with gleaming steel appliances and countertops that seemed to stretch for miles. "First time in a place like this?" asked Tina, one of the other servers, as they filled crystal flutes with expensive champagne. Lily nodded. "Is it that obvious?" "You've got that wide-eyed look," Tina smiled. "Don't worry, you'll get used to it. These rich folks are just people with fancier toilets." Mrs. Winters, a kind-faced woman in her 60s, bustled into the kitchen. "The guests will be arriving soon." Mr. Richardson asked that servers remain in the main hall, dining room, and garden terrace. The east wing is off limits to everyone. As they filed out of the kitchen, Lily caught a glimpse of the main hall. The ceiling soared 2 stories high with a crystal chandelier that must have cost more than she would earn in 10 years. Artwork hung on the walls and fresh flowers filled every corner with their sweet scent. But what made her heart skip a beat was the piano. A gleaming black grand piano sat in the corner of the adjacent living room, its lid propped open like a magnificent black wing. Her fingers itched to touch those keys, to feel the cool ivory beneath her fingertips again. "Keep moving," Mr. Chen hissed, noticing her distraction. Lily tore her gaze away from the piano and took her position near the entrance with a tray of champagne. Soon, guests began to arrive, women in designer dresses and men in tailored suits, their laughter echoing off the high ceilings as they greeted each other with air kisses and firm handshakes. She moved through the crowd like a shadow, offering drinks and appetizers with a polite smile. No one really looked at her. She was part of the background, like the furniture or the paintings on the wall. "Can I get a glass of that?" A woman in a red dress gestured to Lily's tray. "Of course, ma'am." Lily offered the tray with a practiced smile. The woman took a flute, then paused, looking at Lily more closely. "You look familiar. Have we met before?" "I don't think so, ma'am. Are you sure? Were you at the Henderson Gala last month?" Lily shook her head. "No, this is my first time working at an event like this." The woman's interest vanished immediately. "Oh, well, never mind then." She turned away, already looking for someone more important to talk to. As the evening wore on, the mansion filled with laughter and conversation. Lily's feet ached from standing, but she kept her smile in place as she circulated with trays of tiny, expensive food that probably cost more than her weekly grocery budget. During a brief lull, she found herself near the piano. No one was looking. The guests were all focused on each other, on their important conversations about stocks and vacations and whatever else wealthy people discussed. Lily glanced around once more, then carefully set her empty tray on a side table. Just one touch, she promised herself, just to feel the keys again. She slid onto the bench, her heart pounding. The last time she had played a piano this beautiful was at her final recital before she had to quit lessons. Her teacher had arranged for her to perform at the university, calling her the most promising student I've ever taught. That was 3 years ago, before her dad lost his job and her mom got sick. Lily placed her fingers on the keys, not pressing down, just feeling their cool smoothness. Music had been her escape, her dream. Before reality came crashing in. "Do you play?" She jerked her hands back as if burned. Alex Richardson stood a few feet away, watching her with curious eyes. "I'm so sorry," she stammered, rising quickly from the bench. "I shouldn't have. I'll get back to work." "Wait." His voice was gentle. "I asked if you play." Lily hesitated, clutching her hands together. "I used to. A little." "You looked like you were saying hello to an old friend." He gestured to the piano. "That's how I feel about it, too." She blinked in surprise. "You play?" A smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. "Since I was 6. Though these days I rarely find the time." He stepped closer. "Would you like to try it?" Lily shook her head quickly. "Oh no, I couldn't. I'm working and Mr. Chen would—" "I'm the client," Alex said with a casual shrug. "If I say it's okay, it's okay." Before she could protest further, he was calling over to Mrs. Winters. "Could you find Mr. Chen and let him know I've asked this young lady to help me with something? She'll return to her duties shortly." Mrs. Winters nodded and disappeared into the crowd. "There." Alex turned back to Lily. "Now you're officially helping the host with an important matter." She couldn't help but smile at his mischievous expression. "You make it sound so mysterious." "The mystery of music," he said, gesturing to the piano bench. "Please." Feeling as though she had stepped into someone else's life, Lily sat down again. The party continued around them, but somehow this corner of the room felt separate, like they were in a bubble of their own. "What would you like to play?" Alex asked, standing beside the piano. Lily thought for a moment, then placed her hands on the keys. The first notes of Debussy's Clair de Lune filled the air. She closed her eyes, letting muscle memory guide her fingers. The piece was like an old friend, one she had played countless times during those years when music was her whole world. She was rusty. Her fingers stumbled over a few passages, and she winced at the mistakes. But the piano was so responsive, so perfect, that even her imperfect playing sounded beautiful. As the final notes faded, Lily opened her eyes. Several guests had drifted closer, watching with curious expressions. Alex was staring at her, something unreadable in his eyes. "I'm sorry about the mistakes," she said quietly. "It's been a while." "That was beautiful," he replied, his voice sincere. "Truly, where did you study?" "I didn't, not formally. I had lessons from Mrs. Garcia down the street from our apartment until I was 19. Then," she trailed off, not wanting to share her family's financial troubles with this stranger, no matter how kind he seemed. "Life got in the way?" he suggested gently. Lily nodded. "Something like that." Someone called Alex's name from across the room, and he glanced over his shoulder. "Duty calls," he said with a slight grimace. "Thank you for playing. It was the best part of my evening so far." As he walked away, Lily rose from the bench, feeling strangely disoriented. The brief moment of connection, of being seen rather than looked through, left her with an odd ache in her chest. She picked up her tray and slipped back into the role of invisible server, moving through the crowd with practiced ease. But something had shifted. As the night went on, she noticed Alex glancing her way several times. Once, their eyes met across the room, and he gave her a small smile that made her heart do a strange little flip. "What did the boss want with you?" Tina whispered when they met at the bar to refill their trays. "Nothing really," Lily replied. "He just asked about the piano." Tina raised an eyebrow. "Uh-huh, and I'm the Queen of England. He's been watching you all night." "Don't be ridiculous," Lily said, but she couldn't help the small flutter of pleasure at the thought. As midnight approached and guests began to leave, Lily found herself wondering if she would see Alex again before they packed up and left. She told herself it didn't matter. Tonight had been a strange dream, a brief glimpse into a world she didn't belong in. Tomorrow she would be back in her real life, worrying about bills and her mom's next doctor's appointment. Yet as she helped clean up, she couldn't help but glance toward the living room, where the piano stood silent and magnificent. For a few minutes tonight, she had remembered what it felt like to dream. 2 weeks passed, and Lily had almost convinced herself that the night at Hillcrest Manor had been nothing special. Just another catering gig, even if the host had been unusually kind. She'd gone back to her routine, working morning shifts at a coffee shop, catering events with Mr. Chen in the evenings, and spending her precious free hours with her mom at their small apartment or at medical appointments. Today, she was running late for her shift at Morning Brew. She had spent half the night at the hospital after her mom had a bad reaction to her new medication. Everything turned out okay, but Lily had barely slept, and now she was racing down the sidewalk, her uniform only half tucked in and her hair hastily pulled into a ponytail. "I'm so sorry, Rita," she called as she burst through the back door of the coffee shop. "Mom had an emergency and—" "Don't worry about it," said Rita, the owner, a round-faced woman with kind eyes who had given Lily her first job at 16. "Your mom okay?" "She's better now. They adjusted her meds." Lily tied on her apron. "Thanks for understanding." "Family comes first, honey." Rita squeezed her shoulder. "Now get out there before the morning rush eats me alive." For the next few hours, Lily fell into the familiar rhythm of making drinks, taking orders, and cleaning tables. The work was mindless enough that she could do it even when exhausted. By mid-morning, the rush had died down, and she was wiping down the espresso machine when the bell over the door jingled. "Be right with you," she called without looking up. "No rush." Lily froze. She knew that voice. Slowly, she turned around. Alex Richardson stood at the counter, dressed casually in jeans and a gray sweater, looking completely out of place in the small neighborhood coffee shop. "Hi," she managed, suddenly very aware of her wrinkled uniform and messy hair. A smile touched his lips. "Hi, Lily, right?" She nodded, surprised he remembered her name. Had she even told him her name that night? She couldn't recall. "What can I get you?" she asked, trying to sound professional despite her racing heart. "Just a black coffee, please." As she poured his drink, Lily tried to make sense of his presence. Hillcrest Manor was at least 30 minutes from this neighborhood, in the wealthy part of town. What was he doing here? "That'll be $2.50, she said, sliding the cup across the counter. Alex handed her a $5 bill. "Keep the change." He took a sip of the coffee and nodded approvingly. "Good coffee." "Rita roasts the beans herself," Lily said, tucking the tip into the jar. An awkward silence fell between them. Alex glanced around the nearly empty shop, then back at her. "I was hoping to talk to you, actually." "Me?" Lily couldn't keep the surprise from her voice. "I'm hosting another event this weekend." He set his cup down. "A charity fundraiser for music education in schools. We're having several pianists perform throughout the evening." Lily's heart sank a little. "Of course. I can check if Mr. Chen is available to cater, but I think we're booked this weekend. I could give you his number." "No, that's not—" Alex shook his head, looking slightly flustered. It was the first time she'd seen him anything less than perfectly composed. "I'm not looking for catering." "I was wondering if you would play." Lily stared at him. "Play, you mean the piano?" "Yes, the piano." A smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. "Unless you play the tuba too." "I don't understand," Lily said slowly. "You want me to perform? At your charity event?" "After I heard you play Claire de Lune, I couldn't stop thinking about it." Alex's eyes were earnest. "There was something special about your playing. Raw talent and genuine emotion. Most of the pianists I know are technically perfect, but mechanical." He leaned forward slightly. "I'm trying to show people what music education can do, how it can change lives. Your playing is the perfect example of that." Lily felt her cheeks grow warm. "I'm really not that good. I made so many mistakes that night. Music isn't about perfection. It's about connection." He took another sip of his coffee. "Will you at least consider it?" "I'd pay you, of course." Before Lily could respond, the bell jingled again as a group of teenagers entered the shop, laughing loudly. "I should get back to work," she said, gesturing toward the new customers. Alex nodded and pulled out a business card. "Think about it?" You can call me directly." He scribbled something on the back of the card. "That's my personal number. The event is this Saturday at 7. Lily took the card, still stunned by the offer. "I'll think about it," Alex smiled. "That's all I ask." He raised his coffee cup in a little salute and headed for the door. "Thanks for the coffee, Lily." After he left, Lily stood frozen behind the counter, staring at the business card in her hand. Alexander Richardson, CEO, Rich Tech Solutions. And on the back, a phone number written in neat handwriting. "Who was that?" Rita asked, coming out from the back room. "And why do you look like you've seen a ghost?" "Remember that catering job I did at the mansion 2 weeks ago?" Lily tucked the card into her pocket. "That was the owner." Rita's eyebrows shot up. "And he tracked you down here because—"
"He wants me to play piano at his charity event." Rita's mouth fell open.
"Get out, for real?" "That's amazing, honey. I don't know." Lily started making drinks for the waiting teenagers. "I haven't really played in years." "But you still practice on that old keyboard whenever you can," Rita pointed out. "And you were good enough to get that scholarship before life happened. Before her dad lost his job and moved away. Before her mom got sick. Before Lily had to put all her dreams on hold. I'd be playing in front of rich people who probably watch concerts at Carnegie Hall," Lily said, shaking her head. "It's a crazy idea." "Maybe." Rita squeezed her shoulder. "Or maybe it's an opportunity." For the rest of her shift, Lily couldn't stop thinking about Alex's offer. By the time she got home that evening, she had convinced herself to say no. She didn't have time to prepare properly. She didn't have anything suitable to wear. She would embarrass herself in front of all those important people. Her mom was resting on the couch when Lily walked in, an old movie playing softly on their small TV. "How are you feeling?" Lily asked, setting down her bag and sitting beside her. "Better today?" Her mom patted her hand. "How was work?" Lily hesitated, then pulled out Alex's business card. Something weird happened. She told her mom about Alex's visit and his invitation. Her mom's eyes lit up. "Oh, Lily, that's wonderful. You have to do it." "Mom, I haven't played seriously in years. I'd make a fool of myself." "Nonsense." Her mom sat up straighter, wincing slightly at the movement. "That scholarship wasn't a fluke. Mrs. Garcia always said you had a gift." She took Lily's hands in hers. "You've given up so much to take care of me. Don't give this up too." Lily bit her lip. "But what if I mess up?" "Then you mess up." Her mom shrugged. "The world keeps spinning. But what if you don't? What if this is the start of something good?" Later that night, after her mom had gone to bed, Lily took out her old keyboard from the closet. It was nothing like Alex's grand piano, just a basic electric keyboard with weighted keys that had been a gift from her dad before he left. She put on headphones so she wouldn't disturb the neighbors and began to play. Her fingers were rusty at first, stumbling over familiar patterns. But after an hour, something clicked back into place. The music began to flow again, like a river finding its old path after a drought. Lily played until her fingers ached and her eyes grew heavy. When she finally crawled into bed, she had made her decision. The next morning, she called the number on the back of the card. Alex answered on the third ring. "Hello? Hi, it's Lily, from the coffee shop. And the catering thing." A pause then. "Lily, I'm glad you called. About the charity event. I'll do it. I mean, if you still want me to. That's great." The genuine excitement in his voice surprised her. "I'll email you the details. Do you have a piece in mind that you'd like to play?" Lily had thought about this. "I was thinking Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat major. It was my mom's favorite when I used to play for her." "Perfect choice. Around 4 minutes, beautiful melody. People will love it." They worked out a few more details and Lily found herself smiling as they hung up. Maybe her mom was right. Maybe this was the start of something good. The rest of the week passed in a blur. Lily practiced every spare moment, her fingers gradually remembering what they once knew so well. She took an extra shift at the coffee shop to buy a simple black dress from a secondhand store, and Rita helped her style her hair the day of the event. When Saturday evening arrived, Lily stood outside Hillcrest Manor once again. This time she wasn't arriving in a catering van. Alex had sent a car for her, and she clutched her small purse tightly as she walked up to the front door. The mansion was even more impressive than she remembered, now decorated with twinkling lights and flower arrangements. A sign near the entrance announced the charity, Keys to the Future Supporting Music Education in Public Schools. Mrs. Winters opened the door before Lily could knock. Good evening, dear. Mr. Richardson said to bring you to the music room when you arrived. Lily followed her through the house, past groups of elegantly dressed guests who paid her no attention. They assumed she belonged here tonight, not knowing that just 2 weeks ago she had been serving them canapes. The music room was separate from the main hall where the party was happening. A different piano from the one she had played before, this one was white and even more beautiful, stood in the center of the room, and there was Alex, talking with a gray-haired man in a tuxedo. When he saw her, his face broke into a warm smile. Lily, you're here. He crossed the room to greet her. I'm so glad you came. For the first time since they'd met, Lily felt a genuine sense of calm in his presence. Me too. Alex introduced Lily to the gray-haired man who turned out to be Professor Thomas, a renowned pianist and head of the music department at the city's most prestigious university. So you're the mysterious talent Alex has been talking about, Professor Thomas said, studying her with curious eyes. He tells me you've never had formal training beyond high school? Lily shifted uncomfortably. Just lessons from a neighbor until I was 19. Nothing special. May I hear you play something? Just to get a sense of where to place you in the program. Lily glanced at Alex, who nodded encouragingly. Go ahead. The piano is all yours. Taking a deep breath, Lily sat down at the beautiful white grand piano. It felt different from the black one she had played before. The keys had a slightly lighter touch. She placed her hands on the keyboard, closed her eyes for a moment, and began to play. She had chosen Chopin's Nocturne for tonight's performance, but for this impromptu audition, she played what her heart felt, a piece by Ludovico Einaudi called Experience. The melody started simple and grew more complex as her confidence built. She lost herself in the music, forgetting where she was and who was listening. When she finished, there was a moment of silence. She opened her eyes to find both men watching her intently. Professor Thomas cleared his throat. Well, that was unexpected. He turned to Alex. You were right. Raw talent. Completely untrained technique, but remarkable instinct and emotional depth. He looked back at Lily. Young lady, has anyone ever suggested you pursue music professionally? Lily laughed softly. Only my mom and my teacher, Mrs. Garcia. But life had other plans. Life often does, the professor said, his eyes kind. But sometimes it circles back around and gives us another chance. He checked his watch. I need to speak with the other performers. Excuse me. As he left, Alex sat down beside Lily on the piano bench, keeping a respectful distance. You were fantastic, Lily shook her head. I messed up the middle section. My fingers aren't as fast as they used to be. Nobody noticed except you. He gestured toward the piano. Do you mind if I... Please, she said, sliding over to give him room. Alex placed his hands on the keys and began to play a piece Lily didn't recognize. It was intricate and beautiful, his fingers moving with practiced precision. He played flawlessly, but as she watched him, Lily noticed something. His face remained perfectly composed, almost detached throughout the entire piece. When he finished, she applauded softly. That was beautiful. What was it? Something I composed a few years ago. He shrugged as if it were nothing. I studied piano at Juilliard for 2 years before dropping out to start my company. You're amazing, Lily said honestly. Why did you quit? A shadow crossed his face. My father died suddenly during my 2nd year. Heart attack. He left behind a mountain of debt and a failing software company. Alex ran his fingers lightly over the keys without pressing them down. I had to choose music or saving the family business and taking care of my mother and sister. Lily felt a sudden connection to him she hadn't expected. So you chose family, he nodded. Just like you did. Their eyes met, and for a moment, Lily saw beyond the wealthy tech entrepreneur to the person underneath, someone who understood sacrifice and responsibility. The moment was broken by Mrs. Winters, who appeared in the doorway. Mr. Richardson, guests are asking when the performances will begin. Alex stood. Tell them we'll start in 15 minutes. He turned back to Lily. Ready for this? She took a deep breath. As ready as I'll ever be. The music room quickly filled with elegantly dressed guests holding champagne glasses. Lily sat in a chair near the piano, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. She watched as the other performers arrived. 3 professionally trained pianists, all with impressive credentials that Mrs. Winters announced before each performance. As she waited for her turn, Lily's doubts grew. These people were real musicians with degrees and concert experience. What was she doing here among them? She had half made up her mind to slip out quietly when Alex stepped to the center of the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your generous support of Keys to the Future. Our final performer tonight embodies exactly why this charity exists." He gestured toward Lily. Ms. Lily, Carter discovered her love of music through a community program similar to the ones we're funding tonight. Though circumstances prevented her from pursuing formal training, her talent speaks for itself. Please welcome Lily. The polite applause felt deafening as Lily walked to the piano on shaky legs. She sat down, adjusted the bench, and placed her hands on the keys. Her fingers were trembling. She closed her eyes, trying to calm her racing heart. Think of Mom, she told herself. Play for her, not for these strangers. She opened her eyes and began Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat major. The first few notes came out hesitantly, but as the melody took shape, something magical happened. The room around her faded away. There was only the music, flowing from her heart through her fingers and into the beautiful instrument. She played with all the emotion of the past few years, the struggle, the worry, the moments of joy amid hardship, the dreams deferred but not forgotten. When she played the final note, the silence that followed seemed to stretch forever. Then the applause started. Not the polite, reserved applause from before, but enthusiastic clapping with a few people even standing. Lily blinked in surprise, her cheeks flushing with pleasure and embarrassment. Alex was beaming as he came to stand beside her. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the power of music education. That is why your support matters. He gestured around the room. In every neighborhood, in every school, there are children with gifts waiting to be discovered. Thank you for helping us find them. As the formal part of the evening ended and guests mingled, several people approached Lily to compliment her playing. Professor Thomas handed her his card. Call my office on Monday. I'd like to discuss scholarship possibilities. Lily stared at the card, stunned. Scholarship? But I'm 22. I work full-time. My mom, we have programs for non-traditional students, he said kindly. Just call. After he walked away, Alex appeared at her side with a glass of water. How are you feeling? Overwhelmed. She took a sip of water, her hand still trembling slightly. Did that really just happen? It did. His eyes were warm. You were the hit of the evening. A well-dressed woman approached them. Alex, darling, your charity event is a smashing success as usual. She air-kissed his cheeks, then turned her evaluating gaze on Lily. And who is this talented young lady? I don't believe we've met. Diane Williams, meet Lily Carter. Alex placed a gentle hand on Lily's back. Diane is on the board of the symphony orchestra. Lovely to meet you, Lily managed, feeling completely out of her depth. Your playing was quite moving. Dear. Diane's eyes were shrewd behind her designer glasses. Technically flawed, of course, but there's something special there. Raw talent that could be polished with the right training. She handed Lily another business card. We have a foundation that sponsors promising musicians. You should apply. Thank you, Lily said, adding the card to Professor Thomas's in her small purse. I will. As the evening continued, more guests approached with compliments and, surprisingly, opportunities. An invitation to play background music at a gallery opening, another to perform at a charity luncheon. By the time the last guests were leaving, Lily's head was spinning. I can't believe this is happening, she said to Alex as they stood in the now quiet music room. Yesterday I was pouring coffee and serving appetizers. Today people are offering me jobs playing piano. You changed their perception, Alex said simply. They saw you as the help until they heard you play. Then they saw you as an artist. It's not fair, though. Lily frowned. I'm the same person I was yesterday. The only difference is they took the time to notice. That's often how life works, Alex said with a slight shrug. People make assumptions based on circumstances. It takes something special to make them look deeper. He smiled. You made them look deeper. Lily looked down at the collection of business cards in her hand. I don't even know where to start with all this. Start by celebrating, Alex suggested. You took a risk tonight and it paid off. That's worth acknowledging. I should get home. Mom will be waiting to hear how it went. Lily gathered her things. Thank you for this opportunity. It means more than I can say. The car is waiting to take you home, Alex said. But before you go, he hesitated, then continued. I'm hosting a dinner next Friday. Small group, just friends. Would you come? As a guest, not entertainment, he added quickly. Lily felt her heart beat a little faster. I'd like that. Good. His smile was warm. I'll text you the details. As the car drove her home, Lily stared out the window at the city lights. For the first time in years, possibilities stretched before her like an open road. She thought about her mom, who had always believed in her even when Lily had stopped believing in herself. She thought about Alex, who had seen something in her worth sharing with the world. Most of all, she thought about the music that had always been inside her, waiting for a chance to be heard. When she arrived at her apartment building, she thanked the driver and hurried upstairs. The light was still on. Her mom was waiting up for her. How did it go? Her mom asked the moment Lily walked through the door. Lily sat beside her on the couch, pulled out the business cards, and began to tell her everything. The week after the charity event passed in a whirlwind. Lily kept her jobs at the coffee shop and with the catering company, but suddenly her spare time was filled with new possibilities. On Monday morning, she called Professor Thomas as he had suggested. By Wednesday, she was sitting in his office at the university, discussing a special scholarship program for non-traditional students. You would take evening classes, 2 nights a week to start, he explained, showing her a course catalog. The scholarship covers tuition. You'd be responsible for books and materials, but we have assistance programs for those as well. Lily stared at the catalog, her heart racing. I never thought I'd have a chance to go back to school. Talent shouldn't be wasted, the professor said simply. And you have considerable talent, Ms. Carter. Raw and unpolished, but genuine. He leaned forward, his eyes serious. I won't lie to you. It won't be easy. You'll be studying alongside students who've had years of formal training. You'll need to work twice as hard to catch up. I'm not afraid of hard work, Lily said, thinking of her double shifts and long hours. But I need to keep my jobs. My mom's medical bills, we understand. That's why we created this program. He handed her an application form. The spring semester starts in January. That gives you 3 months to prepare. Walking out of his office, Lily felt like she was floating. She pulled out her phone and called her mom. He offered me a scholarship, she said as soon as her mom answered. For night classes in the music program. Oh, Lily. Her mom's voice was filled with joy. I knew you could do it. When do you start? Next semester, if I get accepted. I still have to apply, audition. She stopped at a bench and sat down, suddenly overwhelmed. Mom, what if I can't handle it? Work, school, and everything else? 1 day at a time, honey, her mom said gently. That's how we've always done it, right? 1 day at a time. By the time Friday came around, Lily had also applied for the Symphony Foundation program and accepted a small gig playing background music at an art gallery opening the following week. Life seemed to be moving at lightning speed, and then there was Alex's dinner invitation. Lily stood in front of her small closet, frowning at her limited options. Her black dress from the charity event was the nicest thing she owned, but she'd already worn it around Alex. Everything else seemed too casual for dinner at a millionaire's mansion. Wear the blue one, her mom suggested from the doorway. She was having a good day, moving around with less pain than usual. It brings out your eyes. The blue dress was simple, just a knee-length wrap dress Lily had found at a thrift store last year. But the color was pretty and it fit her well. You think it's nice enough? Lily asked, holding it up. With your silver necklace and those black flats? Perfect. Her mom sat on the bed. You know, this isn't just about music opportunities for you, is it? Lily felt her cheeks grow warm. What do you mean? I mean that young man didn't invite you to dinner just because you play piano beautifully. Her mom smiled knowingly. He likes you. Mom, don't be ridiculous. Lily gestured vaguely, unable to find the right words. Rich, successful, from a different world. He's Alex Richardson. And you're Lily Carter. Equally important. Her mom patted the bed beside her and Lily sat down. Don't sell yourself short, sweetheart. You have so much to offer beyond playing piano. Lily leaned her head on her mom's shoulder just as she had done since childhood. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Everything's changing so fast, that's life, honey. Sometimes nothing changes for years, and sometimes everything changes at once. The car Alex sent arrived precisely at 7. This time, instead of a driver in uniform, Alex himself was behind the wheel of a sleek but understated silver car. I hope you don't mind, he said, as Lily slid into the passenger seat. I thought it might be less awkward than sending a car service again. I don't mind, Lily said, suddenly shy. He looked different in casual clothes, dark jeans and a light blue button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up. More approachable somehow, less like a CEO and more like a regular guy. You look nice, he said, glancing at her as he pulled away from the curb. Blue suits you. Thanks. You too. She looked out the window, gathering her courage. So who's coming to this dinner? Anyone I know from the charity event? Alex shook his head. Just a few friends from college and my sister Hannah. No one from the music world or business circles. Just regular people. Lily raised an eyebrow. Regular people who went to Juilliard and probably vacation in Europe? He laughed. Fair point. But trust me, they're down to earth. Hannah especially will probably grill you about your music and then try to get you to play video games. The drive to Alex's house was filled with easy conversation. He asked about her meeting with Professor Thomas and she told him about the scholarship opportunity. That's fantastic, he said, genuinely pleased. Thomas doesn't offer those to just anyone. He must have been really impressed. I think he was more impressed that you vouched for me, Lily admitted. Alex shook his head. I only made the introduction. Your talent did the rest. When they arrived at Hillcrest Manor, Lily was surprised when Alex drove past the main house to a smaller but still impressive building near the back of the property. I actually live here most of the time, he explained, seeing her confusion. The main house is for events and business. This is home. The guest house, as Alex called it, was warm and inviting, with comfortable furniture and walls lined with books. It felt lived in, with coffee mugs on side tables and a sweater thrown over the back of a chair. Alex, you're finally back. A young woman with Alex's same dark hair came bounding down the stairs. I've been starving for the past hour, but Tom wouldn't let me start cooking without... She stopped when she saw Lily, her eyes widening. Oh, you must be the pianist. I'm Hannah, the much cooler Richardson sibling. Lily, she said, smiling as Hannah pulled her into an unexpected hug. Alex has been talking about you nonstop, Hannah said in a stage whisper. It's been Lily this and Lily that all week. Hannah, Alex warned, his cheeks slightly red. Why don't you go check on the others before I remind Lily about the time you tried to sell my piano for concert tickets? Hannah rolled her eyes. I was 14, and they were Coldplay tickets. Totally worth it. She winked at Lily. Come on, I'll introduce you to everyone. The others turned out to be Tom and Peter, Alex's college roommates and Tom's wife, Nina. They were gathered in a large, open kitchen where delicious smells were coming from several pots on the stove. We're making pasta from scratch, Tom explained, flour covering his hands. It's our tradition when we all get together. Which is rare these days since someone's too busy running a tech empire to hang out with his old friends, Peter added. Nudging Alex, I'm here now, aren't I? Alex retorted good-naturedly. Only because Hannah threatened to post your embarrassing college photos online, Nina said, laughing. Lily watched as Alex fell easily into the friendly banter. This was a side of him she hadn't seen before. Relaxed, playful, surrounded by people who knew him before he was successful. People who saw him as just Alex, not Alexander Richardson. So it reminded her of how she felt at the coffee shop with Rita, or at home with her mom, places where she could just be herself. Can I help with anything? She asked, feeling slightly out of place despite everyone's friendliness. Can you chop vegetables? Nina asked, handing her an apron. That I can definitely do, Lily said, relieved to have a task. As they cooked together, the conversation flowed easily. No one asked about her background or seemed surprised that she worked at a coffee shop. Instead, they told stories about their college days, argued about movies, and debated the best pasta sauce recipes. By the time they sat down to eat, Lily felt like she'd known them for years. The food was delicious, the wine was flowing, and the laughter was constant. So, Lily, Peter said during a lull in the conversation, Alex tells us you're going to start at Westridge University's music program? If I get accepted, she clarified. I still have to audition. You'll get in, Alex said confidently. He's right, Hannah added. I was at the charity event. I heard you play. You're amazing. You were there? Lily asked, surprised. I didn't see you. I was hiding in the back, Hannah admitted. I don't do well at those fancy parties. Too many people asking when I'm going to do something with my life like my successful brother? Alex frowned. No one says that. Mrs. Winters literally asked me last week if I was still finding myself or if I'd found a real job yet. Hannah countered. Teaching art to elementary school kids is a real job, Nina said firmly. Exactly. Hannah raised her glass in Nina's direction. See, this is why we keep her around. The evening continued with more stories and laughter. After dinner, they moved to the living room where a smaller piano stood in the corner. Do you mind? Peter asked Lily, nodding toward the piano. I'd love to hear you play in a less formal setting than Alex's fancy charity event. Only if Alex plays too, Lily said, feeling brave from the wine and comfortable atmosphere. Deal, Alex agreed. They played for their friends, first separately, then together, improvising a duet that had everyone clapping along. It felt different from the charity event, joyful, spontaneous, without pressure or expectations. As the evening wound down, Alex offered to drive Lily home. The others hugged her goodbye as if she were an old friend, making her promise to come back soon. In the car, a comfortable silence settled between them. Thank you for tonight, Lily said finally. I had a wonderful time. So did I. Alex glanced at her. My friends loved you. Hannah especially, which is saying something. She's very protective of me. They're great people. You're lucky to have them. I know. He paused. I'd like to see you again. Not at a charity event or a formal dinner. Just us. Lily's heart skipped a beat. Like a date? Exactly like a date. His smile was visible in the dim light from the dashboard. What do you think? Lily thought about her mom's words, about not selling herself short, about being equally important, despite their different backgrounds. I think I'd like that, she said softly. As Alex pulled up in front of her apartment building, Lily realized that for the first time in years, she was looking forward to what tomorrow might bring. 3 months passed in a blur of work, practice, and unexpected happiness. Lily's life had transformed in ways she never could have imagined when she first stepped into Hillcrest Manor as a catering assistant. She still worked at the coffee shop, though now just 3 mornings a week. She had quit the catering company after landing a regular weekend gig playing piano at an upscale restaurant downtown. The manager had heard her at the art gallery opening and offered her the position on the spot. Her audition for the music program had gone better than expected. Professor Thomas had called personally to tell her she was accepted with a full scholarship. Classes would start in 2 weeks. And then there was Alex. Their first official date had been simple, a picnic in the park, away from the luxury of his world and the constraints of hers. They had talked for hours, discovering more of the surprising things they had in common despite their different backgrounds. That date had led to another, and another. Now 3 months later, they saw each other several times a week. Alex would sometimes surprise her at the coffee shop, laptop in hand, content to work quietly while she finished her shift. Other times, Lily would join him and Hannah for their weekly movie nights where they took turns picking films and arguing good-naturedly about the endings. Today was special, though. After months of treatments, doctor visits, and uncertainty, Lily's mom was finally coming home from the hospital with good news. The latest round of treatment had worked better than expected. For the first time in years, the doctors were using words like remission and recovery. Lily had spent the morning cleaning their small apartment, making sure everything was perfect. She had just finished changing the sheets on her mom's bed when there was a knock at the door. Coming, she called, checking her watch. The hospital had said they wouldn't release her mom until after lunch. It was barely 11. She opened the door to find Alex standing there, a bouquet of flowers in one hand and a paper bag in the other. Hey, he said with a warm smile. I know today's a big day. I thought you might need breakfast. Lily laughed and stepped back to let him in. You're a mind reader. I was so busy cleaning I forgot to eat. It wasn't the first time Alex had been to her apartment, but she still felt a momentary flash of self-consciousness as he entered. The space was small, clean, and modestly furnished, a stark contrast to his world of luxury and abundance. But Alex never seemed to notice or care about the differences in their living situations. I brought bagels, coffee, and those chocolate croissants you like from that bakery near my office. He set the food on her small kitchen table and handed her the flowers. These are for your mom. Yellow roses for friendship and new beginnings. Lily felt a surge of affection as she took the bouquet. She'll love them. Thank you. She found a vase, filled it with water, and arranged the roses carefully. You didn't have to do all this. I wanted to. Alex leaned against the counter, watching her. How are you feeling about everything? Honestly? Nervous. Lily sat down and opened the bag of food. The doctors say she's doing great, but I can't help worrying. Alex sat across from her and took her hand. That's natural. You've been taking care of her for so long. It's hard to believe things might actually be getting better. Exactly. Lily squeezed his hand, grateful for his understanding. But I'm also excited. And relieved. And a little terrified about starting classes next week on top of everything else. You're going to be amazing, Alex said with the quiet confidence that still surprised her sometimes. And if you need help with anything, rides to the hospital, someone to quiz you on music theory, a shoulder to cry on when it gets overwhelming, I'm here. They ate breakfast together, talking about Lily's upcoming classes and her mom's recovery plan. When they finished, Alex helped clean up, then checked his watch. I have meetings all afternoon, but text me when your mom's home and settled. Maybe I could stop by tomorrow with dinner for both of you. If it's not too much too soon, she'd like that. Lily walked him to the door. She's been asking when she'll finally get to meet the famous Alex. He smiled and kissed her cheek. Tomorrow, then. After Alex left, Lily gathered her things and headed to the hospital. When she arrived, she found her mom already dressed and sitting in a chair by the window, looking more like herself than she had in months. There's my girl. Her mom held out her arms for a hug. Ready to break me out of this place? The nurse helping with the discharge paperwork laughed. She's been like this all morning. I think she's more than ready to go home. The ride home was filled with her mom's excited chatter about being able to sleep in her own bed again, cook her own meals, and not have people poking me with needles every 5 minutes. Lily listened, her heart light with hope for the first time in years. When they arrived at the apartment, her mom insisted on walking up the stairs herself, though she took them slowly. I need to start building my strength back up, she explained when Lily tried to help. Inside, her mom's eyes immediately went to the vase of yellow roses on the table. Those are beautiful. Did you get them for my homecoming? Actually, Alex brought them for you this morning. Her mom's eyes lit up. The famous Alex. I can't wait to meet him tomorrow. She winked at Lily. I need to see if he's good enough for my talented daughter. Lily rolled her eyes, but she was smiling. Be nice to him, okay? He's really important to me. Of course he is, honey. Her mom's expression softened. I can see it in your eyes when you talk about him. And from what you've told me, he sees you, really sees you, for the amazing person you are. The next evening, Alex arrived precisely at 6, carrying bags of food from Lily's mom's favorite restaurant, information Lily had casually mentioned weeks ago. The fact that he had remembered such a small detail made Lily's heart swell. Mrs. Carter, it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Alex said, shaking her mom's hand with genuine warmth. Lily talks about you all the time. All good things, I hope, her mom replied with a smile. And please call me Linda. Dinner was surprisingly comfortable. Alex charmed Lily's mom with stories about his sister's teaching adventures and his own disastrous attempts at cooking. By the time they were eating dessert, a homemade apple pie Alex had brought from his housekeeper, Lily felt like they'd known each other for years. So, Alex, her mom said, as they finished their coffee, Lily tells me you had to choose between music and family just like she did. Alex nodded, his expression turning more serious. My father died suddenly when I was in my second year at Juilliard. He'd been running a small software company that was on the verge of bankruptcy. My mother didn't know the first thing about business, and my sister was still in high school. He shrugged slightly. I had to step up. And you turned that struggling company into a multi-million-dollar business, Lily's mom said, clearly impressed. It wasn't just me. I had good people around me and a lot of lucky breaks. Alex glanced at Lily. But I never forgot what I left behind. That's why the music education charity means so much to me. Music should be accessible to everyone, not just those who can afford it. Well, Lily's mom said with a decisive nod, I think you're exactly what Lily needs in her life right now. Someone who understands both music and responsibility. Mom, Lily protested, her cheeks warming. What? I'm just saying what we're all thinking. Her mom smiled innocently. Now I think I'll turn in early. Doctor's orders, plenty of rest. She stood, and Alex quickly rose to his feet as well. "It was lovely meeting you, Alex. I hope we'll see more of you." "I'm sure you will," Alex replied, helping her clear the dishes despite her protests. Once her mom had gone to bed, Lily and Alex moved to the small living room sofa. "Your mom is amazing," Alex said, his arm around Lily's shoulders. "I see where you get your strength." "She liked you too," Lily replied, leaning against him. "Though I'm not sure if it was you or the apple pie that won her over." Alex laughed softly. "I'll take either." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment before Alex spoke again. "I've been thinking about something, and I want your honest opinion." "Okay," Lily said, curious about his serious tone. "I'm planning to start a music foundation separate from the charity. Something more focused on individual musicians rather than school programs." He turned slightly to face her. Musicians who had to give up their dreams because of life circumstances. People like us who chose family over music. Lily felt her heart beat faster. "That sounds wonderful. I'd like you to help me design it." His eyes were earnest. "You understand better than anyone what people in that situation need. Not just money, but practical support, flexible schedules, childcare or elder care options, mentorship." "You're serious?" Lily straightened, her mind already racing with possibilities. "Completely serious." Alex took her hands in his. "We could help so many talented people who just need a second chance. Like the one you're getting now." Lily thought about the scholarship, the gigs, the opportunities that had opened up for her in the past few months, all because Alex had noticed her playing a piano when she was supposed to be working. "I'd love to help," she said softly. "It could change lives." Alex smiled, relief and excitement in his eyes. "I was hoping you'd say that." He hesitated, then added, "There's something else I've been thinking about." "What's that?" "Us, where we're headed." His thumb traced circles on the back of her hand. "I know it's only been a few months, but I've never felt this way about anyone before. When I'm with you, I'm just happy, completely myself." Lily's breath caught in her throat. "I feel the same way." "I'm not proposing," Alex clarified quickly. "Not yet. We both have so much going on. Your school, your mom's recovery, my business. But I want you to know that I'm in this for the long haul. Whatever comes next, I want us to face it together." Tears pricked at Lily's eyes as she leaned forward to kiss him gently. "I'd like that very much." Later that night, after Alex had gone home, Lily sat at her keyboard with headphones on, not wanting to wake her mom. Her fingers moved across the keys, playing a melody that had been forming in her mind for weeks. A piece about unexpected chances, about doors opening when you least expect them. She thought about the night she had first played Alex's piano, terrified of being caught. She thought about her mom's improving health, the scholarship, the music foundation she would help create. Most of all, she thought about Alex, how a simple moment of connection through music had changed both their lives. Some people might call it luck or coincidence. But as Lily continued to play, she preferred to think of it as life coming full circle, bringing her back to the music she loved and forward to a future brighter than she had dared to imagine.